I think we're ready to go. The Super 8s are underway and Zach Hardacre gets us going. And 7 matches now between 2 teams, and somebody will be at Old Trafford on October the 7th. Castleford, Barry McDermott, are the red-hot favourites to get there this year.
Well, that's a big collision from the kick-off, and Castleford, through the defence, want to lay a marker down, but any team that gets through to Old Trafford needs to learn how to play in conditions like this. Big defence, a strong kicking game, and even with a little bit of drizzle in the air and on the ball, play the right conditions and the right game plan.
Saints then with first use of the football, and this now is Luke Thompson, who was the man who took the very first collision of the match. Roby is behind him. Here's Theo Farge, the Frenchman, going for an early 40-20 attempt possibly, but Zach Hardacre cuts him off at the pass, and Hardacre will return the ball, but the touch judges come on, and he has seen something. Stuart, did you?
We got a late challenge stroke,
there,
shoulder
guys,
charge,
please.
I think, on the kicker then, just as he kicked the ball.
Okay, get back,
Nathan
please, guys.
Massey.
Touch judges on, mate.
Well, it was late.
Okay,
That's
mate.
slow motion, but it was a bit late. The ball had well cleared the boot.
Okay.
Here we go.
I think it's more the shoulder that's the problem, going with the shoulder.
Shoulder on the hip. This is going to be a penalty to St Helens, deep in Castleford territory. Nathan Massey is the transgressor, loose forward in the last 2 also. So the shoulder charge penalised foul play. First penalty of the match in the opening minute of the match. And Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook for the Saints.
Well, easy meters now for Saints here, and Justin Holbert know they're in good field position. Try and post the first point to the game.
That's a great hit by McShane.
Paul McShane, who read that beautifully then.
Dominic Peyrou felt the full weight of that tackle. That was Roby who gives it then to McCarthy Scarsbrook, and he goes down. We've talked all year about the Castleford Tigers defence. It's on red alert here as Lomax has the ball, tries to go inside Ben Roberts, but comes off second best. 4 tackles they've weathered. They haven't had their hands on the ball yet, Castleford, in a serious mode, but they're tackling like demons. McShane has put Theo Farge to the floor. Last one here then for Saints. Richardson hoists the kick out and high and not very handsome, I'm afraid.
Eddie, there was some uncertainty in Saints play when they were down near their own line bringing the ball away. And there's a lot of uncertainty in these plays. You need to make sure you'd ask more questions. Great defence from Castleford, but poor attack from Saints.
So Castleford at last, after 2 minutes, get the hands on the ball. And that's Jesse Sene-Lefeo.
And this is where Saints will need to work really hard. Paul McShane, the man behind the play of the ball, as Morgan comes up with another strong challenge held by his teammates. You look at Paul McShane, he directs, he starts all the plays off. Then it goes out to the likes of Millington and Paul McShane, but both sides have got the right attitude in this game defensively.
Paul McShane's had a magnificent season so far for the league leaders. He's in the England 27-man squad that was named earlier this season by the coach Wayne Bennett, so a World Cup place is a possibility, and it must be for that man who's just kicked the ball as well. Luke Gale, what a kick that is. Brilliant kick, and Lomax picks it up behind his own sticks.
What a fantastic kick. I saw Luke Gale with Ryan Sheridan, one of the assistant coaches, about half an hour before kick-off, going methodically through his variety in his kicking game, looking at his 40-20s and looking at the perfect distance, as he did on that occasion.
Regan Grace is pushed back about 4 or 5 metres by the considerable presence of Ben Roberts, and that's a possibility of a dangerous tackle on Makinson, but the referee allows it to carry on. And this is Richardson now for the Saints.
And some dominant defence again from Castleford. Luke Thompson tries to carry the ball forward. He's met by again some tigerish defence. There's some good battles in this game. You've got Hardacre, Lomax, Shenton, Percival, McShane, Roby.
Well, Mike McMeekin sorted it, but Theo Farge wasn't going terribly further upfield after that short pass from Wilkin. Here was Richardson again. That's a better kick from the youngster. Right down the centre of the field, though. Hardacre is underneath it. And Zach Hardacre now will return the compliment. Only as far as Thompson, though.
Difficult to find some space then from Richardson. Both wingers and the fullback have dropped back.
And St Helens caught offside with a quick play of the ball. Jai Hitchcock's making a quick dart away from dummy half, but brought back by the referee's whistle.
Well, it's all about the ruck spin. You could see that line from Saints. It wasn't set with the referee. He was talking to the players, and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook has got to work with the referee and not give away those cheap meters. You want to play Cass close to line, although they can score full lengthers, but you want to try and keep them near their own line.
Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook named in the starting 13 tonight, probably because of the fact that he came off the bench in the last 2 matches that Saints have played and scored a try on each occasion. And of course, Luke Douglas is out of the side with this injury problem for him. This, meanwhile, is Seni Lefeo, who gets to within 15 metres of the Saints line. Tackle number 2, McShane gets it away to Massey. Massey tries to go in between 3, but the defenders see to it he goes no further. Now then, here is Roberts. And it needed a good tackle from Zeptea. He got there quickly, saw the danger coming. Down he goes, 5 metres away. McShane is waiting again. Going himself is McShane, getting very, very close. Last tackle. Castleford examining the St Helens defence. Roberts, Gale. Crossfield kick coming from Gale. Well claimed by Makinson, but I think there was somebody taken out, and it's a penalty to Castleford in back play. Someone was being used as a shield there, used as a shepherd. It's another shoulder that's in use.
I think it was Ryan Morgan. It was a wicked kick, wasn't it, from Luke Gale?
Time on.
And just have a look, it goes across, he cuts across the path of the Cass player. Yeah, he's taken out.
Stand still, Ryan, you can't go across.
He's got to be there and stationary before the Castleford player comes in. You can see he's not. He's run right across his path, and the right decision.
So a penalty to Castleford, and here they come again with another set of 6, starting 10 metres away from the line. Seni Lefeo gets them into centre field. They're lined up both ways. And this is Massey. Massey takes it on himself, straight into the chest of McCarthy-Scarsbrook. McShane is pointed right, so goes left. Here's Gale, gets a short ball away to Hardaker. The pass is a little wayward. Hitchcock does well to pick it up, and Richardson did well to get hold of him very quickly too.
Great harassing from Richardson. Again, just getting up in the eye line of the Cass players, not sitting back and letting them play their players. The setup from Cass looks very good here.
Gale attacking the line, short ball to Massey. Down he goes. 5th tackle, last one coming up then. Roby gets off him, he will play the ball to McShane. Gale will try this way then, looking for Joel Monaghan, finds him, and then a knock on from Theo Farge as Monaghan tried to put the ball back into his own player's hands. Head and feed to Castleford.
Well, the defence that you've just seen from St Helens for 12 players here on their own line is one of the reasons why some people think the Saints can make it to the grand final. They've been good at preventing their opponents from scoring tries this year, even though their attack hasn't been class leading in this Super League competition. You'll have to hold out for 6 more players here. They're fit, they're fresh, they've got full concentration, and they get about a 60-second breather here while the game pauses momentarily here, but they'll be tested by the best attacking team that we have in rugby league in this country.
Theo Farge, despite that mistake, he has been a major success for the Saints this year, and has been in great form lately with Matty Smith out. Remember, Matty Smith is on the bench and just putting a little bit of pressure on Theo Farge and young Richardson out there on the field. Richardson playing for the 4th game in a row. But right now the pressure's coming from the Castleford Tigers in the shape of Grant Millington. Gets it to within 3 or 4 metres of the line, stands up and plays it quickly to McShane. He then finds Roberts. Roberts thought about the pass out the back to Hardaker, thought better of it when he saw the on-rushing defenders, took the tackle himself. Hardaker then in dummy half. This is Massey. Massey gets Castleford underneath those St Helens posts. It's McShane waiting once again. Fires the pass, it's short to Millington. He gets it away to Seni Lefeo, helped on by Gale, bouncing into the arms of Shenton. And Dominic Peyrou doing his best and then needing a bit of help from Morgan. Here is McShane again. Now Gale will go the aerial route once more, looking for Monaghan. Only finding Regan Grace, who does well.
And that's 3 times that Castleford Tigers and Luke Gale have been allowed to place that ball where they want. That's going to be a penalty. Mike McMeekin dragging the young half-back, Theo Farge.
And the tackle, I think, by the signal from Robert Hicks, the tackle was already completed.
It was, and I think they were lucky to get away with his second movement from Joel Monaghan in the first case, but they certainly didn't get away from the second. He's down on the ground, you can't just then drag him
Ball carrying arm didn't touch the ground though, Stuart. Look, it's the other arm.
Well, I think you could also say that he's succumbed to the tackle on the ground, but once he's down there, you can't just drag somebody into touch.
Had he pushed rather than dragged?
Well, I still think the same point applies, that the defenders succumb to the tackle.
Fair enough. St Helens won't be arguing with that anyway, that's for sure. That's young Lomax plays the ball. Roby. Wilkin, back it comes to Farge. Oh, a mistake by Zeptea. And Minikin has picked it up for Castleford.
One more defence now here for Saints. Defended 18 tackles on the line. And defended heroically as well. There's a lot of pressure applied by Luke Gale out to the wingers with those crossfield kicks. The centres are working extremely hard, and that's just a clean drop from Zeptea.
23rd consecutive appearance for Zeptea since he joined the St Helens club in March. He's been the top offloader this year as Zeptea. 41 of them. Gale gets the ball away to Hardacre, and Hardacre just presses the gas and then gets the pass away, but Richardson has it. It's a zero risk, the chancing their arm. It'll come back. It'll come back for the first offence, which was a knock-on by Castleford.
Well, he had nothing to lose, did he, young Danny Richardson? Again, you look at Zach Hardacre, he's one of those players, he gets in the clear, he looks to put the afterburners on. Richardson gets the ball, he's aware of the ball on the floor, looks to get it to the quicker man on the inside, Tommy Makinson, unfortunately doesn't come off.
Just 6 inches too low, that offload from Zach Hardacre. Really dropped the accelerator. Perhaps a little bit force, too much force on that offload. If he popped it up into the space of the supporting player, could have been the game's first try.
Well, the Castleford Tigers secured their top 4 place and playoff qualifications as early as 2 weeks ago with a 32-24 win in Perpignan, which is one of their traditional bogey grounds. They will have flown home that night absolutely delighted, because at one stage they were down to 11 men with 2 men in the sin bin. A 3rd home win of the season here tonight against the Saints, and it will guarantee them a home playoff semi-final. And how good will that be for a team that has yet to be beaten on their own ground this year? Nothing certain, of course, in the Super 8s or indeed the playoffs and the semi-finals, but you'd like to be at home if Old Trafford is the prize. But Saints, they're eyeing 4th tonight themselves. They've been to Old Trafford so many times. They know the route. Theo Farge back to Zeptea, halted by Minikin's challenge. Percival waits. 20 metres away. Back it comes to Farge. He puts a traditional up and under in. And Hardacre comes up with the possession, beating Roby in the air.
There was just so much confidence running through this Castleford side, and Saints know a half-hearted effort will not be good enough to beat them. They've got to go full throttle, take the game to Cass. And like that man who's got the ball, Ben Roberts, so much influence, but then you've got Paul McShane, Luke Gale, Mike McMeekan with a strong carry, riding Percival's tackle.
And Percival did well to withstand that, and he came back and got him on the second attempt. Here's Senny Lefeo, quick hands, Monaghan, fed by Minikin, but Theo Farge gets him on the ground. McShane again, last tackle coming up here. Gale hoists the kick high. Makinson, though, very good underneath the high ball. He's been playing at full-back for much of this season as well. Back on the wing and riding the challenge as well.
That's terrific from Tommy Makinson. Well, this game just bubbling away into a top-class contest. Some great stuff from Castleford coming away from their own line. We talk about multifaceted players, prop forwards who can handle the ball, but we can also see standoffs that can chew up 8 or 10 metres whilst carrying the ball out of trouble.
Here is Theo Farge, pull back on the inside to Lomax. Roby, Saints over halfway, coming forward now with Thompson. Some big challenges already in the opening 12 minutes of this match. We've reached tackle number 5. The kick then from Theo Farge, another high one. Just wondering when I said that there's an up and under from Theo Farge. What's the French for up and under, Barry? I know you're bilingual. You can speak Spanish fluently these days.
Not French.
I know you know dos cervezas, por favor.
Un poco español.
There we go.
No French.
Francais, that's what
Francais.
Let's stick to English because this is the Super League and this is Jai Hitchcock.
It's all about speed, isn't it, for both sides here? You've got forwards that can pass the ball in contact. Look at them looking to shift the ball to the edge.
Oh, knock-ons both ways, I think, and St Helens imploring the referee to allow them to play on.
Time off.
And Robert Hicks making the decision on the field that he saw something and gives head and feed to Castleford.
Jai, stand on the mark and play the ball, don't
Well,
throw.
an offload from Senny Lefeo. The ball was played there and it hit. As Grant Millington's looking to pass it, Tommy Makinson's right hand. Well, when he goes in here.
Well, on that angle, it doesn't look like an arm, it looks like a shoulder, but this is the angle we saw first. It does look like it touches his right arm, Tommy Makinson.
I can't see a knock-on by St Helens in that movement.
It would have been interesting had Robert Hicks allowed them to go and score a try, because he would have been over the line, certainly.
Well, I think the video referee would have called a try on that one, because I can't see a knock-on by St Helens.
St Helens then might be just a little bit hard done by on that decision. Will it come back to haunt them later on in the evening? This is Nathan Massey again. Just over the halfway line. Plays it to McShane. Millington gets it away to Roberts. Roberts then to McMeekan. And Mike McMeekan gets the ball away. The referee hadn't called that the tackle was held. So here is Hardacre.
He's a big thing, McMeekan. If you don't man up, if you don't muscle up, he'll get that ball away, as well as running those wonderful lines.
Gale. Shenton. Oh, good hit. Shenton loses the ball forward. Dominique Peyrou has it for Saints. The referee will say that's the zero tackle.
Well, it's been played at a frantic pace, hasn't it, this game, in the opening 13 minutes. Both sides really getting off the line and trying to give it to each other. Good footwork from Michael Shenton.
Oh! Another big hit. That's Alex Foster in amongst all of that with Senny Lefeo. And the flowing locks of Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook get Saints to halfway. Look at that bang!
Well, Thompson's really taking the game to them. Two of the big guns for Saints, and Walmsley and Amour are on the bench, ready to come on. The two starting props are doing a good job, though.
Jesse Senny Lefeo really putting himself around. Theo Fars drops the ball for the Saints. It's play on, it's a free play, of course. Minikin, that's the zero.
You'd have to give the Saints 10 out of 10 for the first 15 minutes for their effort and their commitment, particularly in defence. But 3 of their attacking kicks have been poor. They've conceded a needless penalty with Luke McCarthy-Scarsbrook, and twice now they've dropped the ball cold and making life difficult and inviting Castleford here to score first. Justin
Holbrook looking on somewhat anxiously from the main stand on the far side. This is Grant Millington. He gets Castleford to within 20. McShane is waiting as Millington picks himself up off the floor, gives it then to Luke Gale. Gale short ball, and that's a good run from Foster. And is that picked up neatly by Shenton? No, it isn't. It's a knock-on. Well, you don't have to score on every occasion, but I think the fact that we've gone 15 minutes without any points on the board, the teams are getting a little anxious, maybe over-anxious.
It's in the DNA, isn't it, from Castleford this year? A good, strong carry from Alex Foster, a good offload as well. Unfortunately, the ball was dipping down to the ground, and even a player with Michael Shenton's experience and his confident ability that he's got this year couldn't take that ball in cleanly.
Darryl Powell chunnering to Ryan Sheridan. Ryan Sheridan offering his opinion as well. As you can see in the foreground, the rain is falling here in West Yorkshire. And I must say that the start that St Helens have made must be doing David Makin power of good. He's a lifelong Saints fan, recently out of hospital after a serious operation. He lives in Blackburn, so he's doing missionary work for the Saints over there. I'm sure this is doing him the power of good in his recuperation. This is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook now.
Well, he'll be hoping that some of these Saints subs who are about to come on, I think in a few minutes, are going to make a difference. They've done well, haven't they? They've held their opponents for this first 15. But about the 20-minute mark, we anticipate the Saints coach will make some changes and hope then that they can step it up even another gear.
Wilkin gritted his teeth then to get Saints over the halfway line on tackle number 4. Big Alex Walmsley has just entered the fray for the Saints as Farge takes this forward and finds Zebtair. And Zebtair goes past Zach Hardacre, and Zebtair gets the first try of the match for St Helens. Only his 4th try of the season. A try against Wakefield 2 weeks ago in a 41-16 victory. And the try here that sets St Helens off, up and running after 16.5 minutes. They made it 4-0. The kick is to come. Great defence from Saints at one end. And that was good strength from Zeb Taylor at the other.
Well, they're certainly up for this. Castleford looking to force their hand, get down near Saints' line. Shenton loses the ball, but just have a look at the work from Theo Fives. He spots a bit of space behind the play of the ball. Look at that, he spots it all of a sudden. He runs into that hole, he pulls the defender to him. He knows that he's got Zeb Taylor, who's going to come tight to his shoulder. Nice close support from Saints. The little movement from Theo Fives pulls in Ben Roberts. Then all of a sudden, Zeb Taylor goes through. And that's a confident finish as well from Zeb Taylor. They look full of beans in this game.
Well, I could just imagine John Wells sat getting ready to analyse that at half-time. Theo Farge's line and his work the way he opened that defence up.
So Mark Percival then with the opportunity to add the 2 points from Bang in front, which he does. I mentioned earlier on the great record for Saints on this ground. Despite this year's 2 defeats, they've won 8 of the previous 9 prior to the cup defeat in May, and they're up and running here.
You're right, Eddie. It takes a very good team to beat St Helens 3 times in 1 year. We've said that the Tigers have done it twice, and there's a sniffer of confidence here now about the Saints. They've got off to a good start. They've scored first. They're expecting their big guns now to add to them. Alex Worms is on the field, and we expect Kyler Moore. And in fact, in this next 20-minute period, from the 20th to the 40-minute, they've scored twice as many tries as they've conceded this year. It's been their purple patch. Can they do it here now when they're under pressure against the league leaders?
Hardacre restarts then for the Tigers. It's high and it's hanging, and Farge is underneath it. Here's Wormsley. Reports this week that Alex Wormsley was on his way to Castleford in 2018, and he has shrugged off those suggestions, has the big St Helens prop forward. Said all he's interested in is winning silverware for the Saints this year and hopefully getting on the World Cup plane to Australia with the England international side. So he shrugged those suggestions off. Here he is again. Only been on the field a matter of minutes, 2 big carries already. This now Roby on halfway.
You can't knock his work rate, can you, Wormsley?
Lomax to Percival. Percival trying to jink inside Roberts. He does that. But there's a couple of others there in support. McMeekin one of them, Minikin the other. High kick again from Theo Farge. Hardacre has to come in off the wing.
That's a good set after a try. 2 solid carries from the big man Wormsley, who's looking to lift the intensity, trying to do his bit in defence with Jai Hicks-Cox on that occasion, but a good kick and a better defensive chase.
There's Gale, comes to Millington, and Wilkin was a little high.
Knock on, there's a knock on, is there?
Well, no wonder there's a knock on, because the challenge on Millington was high, to say the least, and that's, I think, the point that Millington's making to the official.
Oh, he can't do anything about whether that's given us a high tackle.
There's
I don't think it is.
Tackle, is there?
It's at this point while Grant Millington's getting up, he loses his grasp on the ball, he fumbles it. Grant Millington's an incredible player. He's as tough as teak and as skillful as any halfback. He'll be disappointed with himself with that play of the ball.
Well, he's one of several Castleford players being hinted at as about a possible man of steel at the end of the year, Grant Millington.
Well, he'd be a great contender, wouldn't he? They've got several of them, but I suppose it's now about performing under pressure, which is there right now. This is the first time Saints have started a set inside Castleford's half. We'll see here now with 6 players, 5 after this one, what Danny Richardson or Theo Farge can manufacture.
This is Luke Thompson, meanwhile, who's been impressive early, and is impressive again with that run to within 5 metres after just 2 tackles. And now they get the penalty because there was a little push and a shove.
Go for 2 points here, Eddie.
Well, that's what the coach is saying.
And I think that's a reward for the presence, the work rate and the effort of Luke Thompson. I'm a huge admirer of Luke Thompson. His heart, his resilience, the way he carries the ball, keeps his legs pumping, lands on his front. He's exceptional. Both Nathan Massett and Luke Thompson consistently land on the front. consistently fight to play the ball, and that's the reason he's won that penalty.
The Castleford crowd have just groaned because they've watched that replay on the big screen. But you could see, Stuart, there was a hand on one side of the ball, that was released, and then Shenton's other hand was underneath it, just trying to slow the play the ball down.
Well, that's it. He's ended up at the back of the play of the ball. He knows he's in a bad position. If Luke Thompson gets a quick play of the ball, they're in trouble. So he's gone back on the ball there, which is the first offence, and he keeps hold of that ball as he tries to get round at the front. It's a clear penalty, and to be honest, that's the first sign we've seen of anything in the ruck tonight. It's been really quick and good, and that's the first penalty for slowing it down.
21 minutes, maybe blowing for tugs, some of the players.
But that's the game.
Quick.
That's the game, Eddie. You've got to make sure that you control those bigger forwards who are trying to get through the line, land on the front, play the ball quickly. The likes of James Roby for Saints or Paul McShane for Cass will exploit those quick play the balls.
A note in the book for the half-time address from Darryl Powell as Percival lines up this kick. The Tigers fans doing their best to put him off, but he will not be distracted. Mark Percival and Matty Smith. And you can see the eye is now, by the looks of things, fully recovered, which is good. There's still a touch of bruising there on the left eye of Matty Smith. I bet he's itching to get on the field, though, get back into the action. And a real battle will ensue between him and Luke Gale when he does get on.
Got some of the best players in Super League. For our viewers watching on Sky Sports this evening, playing tonight, a lot of them will be looking to outplay their opposite, get on the big bird to Australia in the England World Cup squad.
Yes, we have got some great players on show tonight, some great players on show tomorrow as well, when we have Leeds against Wigan for you at 7:30 on Sky Sports Arena. Sky Sports Arena for Leeds Wigan. And then on Saturday, we're into the qualifiers. Featherstone Rovers will take on the Lee Centurions, 3:10 on Sky Sports Action. Super League Survival is top of the agenda here, and the Catalan Dragons will take on the London Broncos immediately after that, 5:10 on Sky Sports Action as well.
Hold, go for.
Saints ahead, 8-0 here at the Menderhouse Jungle. No team has beaten Castleford at home this season yet. High kick from Richardson. Really is high. Very well claimed by Hardacre again, and under great pressure from Ryan Morgan.
And the tackle was well timed by Morgan, wasn't it? As soon as Zach Hardacre's leg touched the ground, he came in and he effected the tackle. Saints working very hard on the back of that tackle now. Getting up very quick, the contact's good. He's sticking in those tackles, they're not getting shrugged off.
Good run from Matt Cook, the substitute on the field for Castleford. Plays the ball to McShane. Milner, who's been so impressive this year, he's another one just off the bench for Darryl Powell. And Luke Gale just outside the 40, doesn't even attempt the 40-20. And the ball, wow, stays
Another quality
inches
kick
inside the white line.
He does it ever so well, Luke Gale, and it's been a top-class start to this game. We're just 23.5 minutes in, and I think what we're seeing is two sides that have had the week off, and they are fresh and ready to get stuck into these Super 8s.
Lomax quickly off the mark from dummy half. Makes 12 good metres forward. Roby pushes Farge out of the way. Will have a little scamper himself, will Roby. Nobody knows the route to Old Trafford better than James Roby. Lomax, Walmsley, bumps off one. The ball hits the ground but is picked up sweetly enough by Richardson. Here is Wilkin, left-footed kick high from him. Belter, knocked forward, was it? No, here's Amor. Kyle Amor will touch down. Video referee will be called in here. Looked like a knock-on first look, but I wonder whether it was. Could be an important
back to zero. I have a
score
try
here because they have a try on the field.
Challenge there for a possible knock-on and the grounding. Please.
Well, it's obviously the knock-on and then the ground. I don't think there's anything wrong with the grounding. He kept the arm up, Stuart, but the knock-on, there has to be a question mark about this.
It does. As you say, the grounding looked fine, but it's the challenge in the air. Are everybody on side to start with? We've got Richardson, I think, on the left-hand side. They're not challenging, so the two chasing are fine. So it's all down to what happens in the air. Who does it come off as the ball comes down?
Well, Phil Bentham is watching this very closely. Now, even if it is knocked by St Helens' hand, did that go backwards on second look?
Well, that's the other thing that the video referee can adjudicate on. So this should give us an idea whose hand it comes off last. Well, it certainly looks like it hits Tommy Makinson's hand. Now, the video referee can have a look to see where he hits it or where he touches the ball, and does the ball travel towards the opponent's line.
I think maybe, well, you look at that angle, it looks as though it does. You look at other angles, it looks as though it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been given as a try on the field, so if there's any doubt from the video referee, I think it's definitely hit Makinson's hand. The only question I've got now, what direction does it go after that? Do you get any clues from that? I think it probably looks like it's gone sideways, if anything. Certainly looking at the markings on the pitch from the previous shot. Which angle does it go? Looks like it goes sideways. I don't think it goes forwards.
This is a hell of a decision. Here he's having another look at another angle. This is a big decision for Phil Bentham.
We'll be trying to get a fix on the cut of the grass. You can see where Tommy Makinson's jumped straight up. You can almost see where his foot is.
There it looks forward.
On that angle, I think the ball's gone forward. So I think there's enough evidence there that the ball has gone forward.
Do you? Really?
On that angle.
On that angle it does, on the other angle it doesn't.
It's behind.
But you look at the positions on the pitch, I think this will be disallowed.
And it is disallowed for a knock-on. It was inches, nothing much. Kyle Amor is denied. This is the one that convinced Phil Bentham. And on that one, it looks as though it just drifts slightly forward.
You're right, if you use the shading as a guide, it does look on that one.
Not where Kyle Amor picks the ball up in comparison to where it was hit.
I think that was his first touch of the ball as well.
What an amazing set of six. Remember, St Helens picked the ball up inches before their own dead ball line. Got an attacking kick in, but sadly didn't put the points on the board.
Well, the ball certainly bounced back into Amor's hands, but it must have gone forward. Well, that's the view of the video referee. It's a view that now cannot be turned around, so let's just get on with things. Justin Holbrook says the ball has moved back. It went back that far. I don't think it did. It certainly bounced back that far.
He agrees with you, Phil. I agree with the video ref.
He might have in the back of his mind that when St Helens lost here in the Cup, it was against a try that Castleford scored in the last few minutes with the player clearly offside. No video referee on that day.
High kick to test Lomax. But wasn't much pressure on the St Helens fullback on that occasion. It is now from Adam Milner.
He's certainly one of those players that will back himself. You mentioned that Milner a few times, Eddie, and I'm looking forward to seeing him challenge himself, getting off the line and hitting Alex Worms. He's already tried to eye him up a couple of times.
He might be on his
him
way
with the line speed.
He's out quickly. He went for Amor, missed him.
He's one of those players, Eddie, that your teammates buzz off. He inspires everyone around him by what he does in defence.
Theophage again. Last tackle coming up here for St Helens with Roby and Richardson. Quick change of direction from Richardson, then he just hacks the ball downfield. Bit of a hit and hope, to be fair. But Hitchcox has it now for Castleford. He runs it back strongly as far as Morgan. And in fact, there's something else that's went on there in the challenge as well.
I think it was just the second effort, wasn't it, on Hitchcox? You've got John Wilkin. Goes in, hits him in the face.
Well, that's not good.
I think John just had a look at the big screen. Saw what's happened.
We better have another look here.
Well, there's definitely contact with the head. The penalty should be enough though, Eddie.
I think that's all they're leaving it. That's just a penalty. They're even calling forward. Might have a word with him while he's running nearby.
Looks like there might be a bit of blood from the nose for Jai Hitchcox. I mean, the tackle was completed. There wasn't any reason to do that, really.
Hold, Danny, go.
Well, there's a lot of penalties that are given in the game that players will look back and think, well, I shouldn't have really done that. Bit of rush of blood.
Hold, go. Yeah, go.
And here comes Matt Cook again for Castleford to halfway on tackle number 2. McShane is waiting. Here's Milner. Morgan Knowles out of the blocks quickly to bring him down. Well, in fact, it's a bit drizzly and it's a little bit grey. It's a fairly close night in Castleford this evening. Players' fitness will be tested. Gale tries the pass to Hardacre. Not the best from Hardacre. Maybe I think he was looking for Shenton, found Jai Hitchcock's instead.
He did well to pick up a bouncing ball. You just feel we're on the gantry. All the Castleford Tigers fans are underneath us. They're just starting to get on the back of the players a little bit. They want a bit more, they want some action, they want some points.
They might get it here with Minikin. Minikin will push this ball into open space. Oh, they will get it. They will get a try here from Jai Hitchcock's Hall, will they? Is he onside? The referee has taken a report from the touch judge on this near side. And chasers within the 10 metres. In other words, were they offside when the kick was put in?
Well, I think this first one is quite interesting as well, because we've got... no, he's well away. The player that was in front was well away, so I think we're okay to play on from this. And then, of course, in this move, we have a second kick. So where is everybody from there? We've clearly got 2 players who are in front, and what is their involvement in the play? Well, there's no one waiting to receive the kick, so they're not actually interfering with the catcher. I think that's okay. I think they're onside because there isn't a St Helens player waiting to catch the ball. The players who are in front are irrelevant. That's not.
Phil Bentham doesn't agree. Just explain that when the kick comes up and players are in front and then they close within 10, if there's no defender there, that's okay, in your view?
That's okay. The man who catches the ball, where is he at the time? So the player who's caught the ball is behind the kicker.
It must be Alex Foster, the number 34, the man who's been judged to be offside.
Yes, he was the man in front of the kick.
There isn't anybody waiting to catch the ball, therefore he can encroach within 10 metres of the ball.
Right. Even though he was in front of the kicker.
Even though he's in front, there's nobody waiting to catch the ball, so therefore he's not interfering with anybody. He doesn't put anybody off. And the man who's caught the ball has come from an onside position.
Huge sigh of relief from Ryan Morgan as well, because it was a laboured chase. He Saints make a mistake here, 40 metres from the line.
Yes, it was a big hit.
Paul McShane, who puts his shoulder into Danny Richardson, Eddie. Yeah, you're right. And I do like it when Paul McShane and Adam Milner are on the pitch for Castleford. The work rate, the amount of work that those players get through, the amount of times in any action involvement, one of those players is around the action area for Cast Tigers, and it's an energizer. All the players, when he puts that shot in, he stands up, all the players congratulate Paul McShane because they get the ball back.
Well, maybe they're just a little bit aggrieved by the fact that that try has been scrubbed out. Maybe that had something to do with that ferocious challenge from McShane. Here was Meakin.
Wonderful feat, because Alex Walmsley was, that was going to be a huge collision.
Must have seen him coming out of the corner of his eye.
He's big enough, isn't he? You won't miss him.
This is Cook. McShane again, going down the left-hand side with Gale once more. Short ball to Hardacre. And Hardacre looking to be shuttled over the sideline by Saints. Goes to ground quickly. This is Gale. And here is Milner. Milner then to McShane. Good ball then to McMeekin. Last tackle, though, coming up for Castleford here. You come down the short side with Roberts. And it was played up by the foot of Roby, and he didn't get a knock on.
Against the competition's best attackers for half an hour, Saints have looked very strong, haven't they? They've been tested left and right. They look like they've done 2 weeks in preparing for how the Tigers have tormented so many teams with Zach Hardacre chiming into the back line out wide and creating the overlap. A little bit of a concern here now. The physio on the field for Mark Percival, St Helens, but also for the Castleford side as well.
Yes, McShane was hurt in the original challenge.
Paul McShane took a knock about 10 minutes ago, struggled to get back into the defensive line. As I said before, Milner, McShane, in where the action is, making a general nuisance of themselves.
Well, they checked him out, and as far as the Castleford medical team are concerned, he's okay for the time being, and it looks like Percival's all right as well, because as we watch this, Percival prepares to play the ball when McShane gets back into position.
Tackle 2.
8-0, the Saints, coming up to half an hour.
He's got to get off.
And he wants the medical teams off the field as a referee before play can restart again.
Close up, Matt Cook. No.
Walmsley. He didn't make
See,
too
that's
much
no good
progress
for
there.
no good for Walmsley. He needs a good run up. He needs 4 or 5 steps before he catches the ball. Casper ready for him. Slow play the ball.
Morgan
Set
Knowles.
defensive line and then a mistake off the back of it, Eddie.
Morgan Knowles this time.
Eddie, and that's what sometimes happens when there's one of your teammates goes down on the ground. All that happens is the defensive line gets nice and tight. Alex Walmsley here, it's a bit of a stuttering start, and it's a big chase from Cook, Lan Patrick, Adam Milner, knowing that they've got to take those meters off the big fella before he gets into his stride. And then the second pass goes to that man Morgan Knowles, who just drops it cleanly. But again, he's under pressure.
Well, now the Saints' defence is under pressure. This is Greg Minikin. Minikin knows his way to the try line as well. 16 tries this season. Joint 5th on the Super League try-scoring charts. Boy, they would welcome Greg Eden back. He's told us pre-match about 3 weeks away. Here is Lan Patrick, who has been impressive since he's returned from long-standing injury. Made some solid runs in matches we've seen recently. Luke Gale now will attack the line. He'll find Hardacre, who finds Shenton. Here is Hitchcox. Good defence from Richardson. Very good defence from Richardson. And Tommy Makinson cleans up for the Saints.
Well, that's fabulous defence from Saints. Cass had good set-up shape on the right, on the left. He switched the ball over. Ryan Morgan jams in, and look at the numbers turning up for Saints. Behind the road, that's a bit of honesty, that. Get through this set, play behind a long kick, and Saints will be back where they want to defend.
Oh, Roby has lost it though. Zero it is, a zero challenge here, zero tackle anyway, so it's a free play.
Well, he thought that was stripped from Alex Mellor.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't a hand in there.
Alex Foster, sorry.
Tommy Makinson was a low-flying aircraft then at Matt Cook. Here is Foster now.
Well, it's that man James Roby on him. Look, when he goes into contact there is a strip from Foster.
When a ball spews out at that pace, it's very rarely just a fumble or a drop.
That's a penalty. That's not a fumble. That's not a drop. It's a stolen ball. Castleford with a penalty in front of the sticks.
And that one was spotted, wasn't it? By the referee, Robert Hicks. A good strong carry again from Lan Patrick. And Morgan Knowles.
You couldn't miss that one.
No. Just strips that ball away. And Cass just keep the pressure on here.
No point even thinking about 2 when you're 8-0 down. You might as well go for broke, and that's what they're after.
They've been close a few times, Cass, now. I think a try's coming for the Tigers.
Lan Patrick. This has been a solid performance defensively, though, from St Helens thus far. McShane. Gale. Gale to Hardacre. Hardacre stabs the ball to the in-goal area. It's too long.
The Saints would have done a lot of work in the last couple of weeks on the right side, knowing that that's Luke Gale's side. You've got Zach Hardacre, who chimes in at the back. He's the big indicator to where the ball's going.
Well, the important thing for St Helens now is to hold on to this ball. The last 3 occasions, they've dropped it in their own half. They've got to find a way of getting to the other end of the field, and Walmsley is attempting to do that. Well, the control in the first 20 was good. The rain seems to be stopping right now. They've got to find a way of holding on to it tighter.
Wilkin kicking very early because he saw no one was at home, and he's invited Makinson to have a chase, and Hardacre gets there first.
That's great play, Eddie. Absolutely brilliant. When you've been under pressure, defending your own half, they've got the confidence. That's a sign of a champion side who are prepared to back themselves, back their own fitness, and that's the pace meant to chase this ball. Luckily, Hardacre gets back to clear it for the Tigers, but now it's gone from one end of the field to the other.
That's playing what's in front of you, isn't it?
It's a goal line dropout.
John Wilkin, that's the side of his game where he steps up, he takes control, takes pressure off Theo Farge and Richardson and Johnny Lomax. He knows exactly where to place that ball, to turn the screw, put pressure on the opposition.
But that kick is collected by Zach Hardaker, unless his teammates get on their toes and chase as hard as they can. Great work, St Helens.
Hardaker's goal line dropout reaches Theo Farge. 6 tackles. Not a 7 tackle set this. 6, that's the first. Here is Wormsley. That's 2 tackles gone. Richardson finds Farge. That was forward. It looked it from here on this angle.
And he did well to take that, John Wilkin, under pressure in these conditions.
Roby and Richardson again. Amor gets the ball away to Wormsley. Knew the danger that he possessed, and McMeekin was quick to close him down with Roberts. Roby, Richardson stabs the kick in. Oof.
Oh, he was close to that, wasn't he, Johnny Lomax? Well-weighted kick from the youngster Danny Richardson, end over end, and just misses the ball.
So here come Castleford now on the riposters. Lomax gets back into his defensive position.
That must be the 4th occasion Ben Roberts has charged that ball forward, doing the back and fulfilling the role of the back 4 or 5, or maybe even a prop forward for Cast Tigers. Everybody willing to roll the sleeves up and get involved.
Gale, short ball from him. Foster hangs on. Here's Milner now. Back it comes then to Roberts. Roberts drops the pass off to McMeekin. St Helens smothering the Tigers in defence.
They've looked after Mike McMeekin when Ben Roberts goes across the line, looking to drop McMeekin off. The inside defenders have got to make sure that they turn up in numbers.
Here's Castleford coming forward again now with Gale. It's a high kick again, looking for Monaghan, finding Monaghan. Ball went backwards, ball still goes backwards. Hardaker has it. Hardaker's rolled over the sideline by Theo Farge. And there's a little bit of, well, it's not Entente Cordiale, that.
Well, Theo Farge comes up with the tackle, forces Zach Hardaker off the pitch. And again, the kick goes to the corner, the centre, Mark Percival doing well to give his teammates some support so he can catch the ball cleanly in the little French international.
He's resilient, you've got to say that about him, haven't you?
He's a tough player, isn't he?
He can't play as many games at his age in the Super League against adults from a young age without being a tough little guy, and he certainly shows that here. You know, the defence has been good on kicks, it's been good on passing plays. St Helens so far deserve to be ahead in this game. A fascinating few minutes here now. We've seen games change here with the Tigers in that 3-minute period. The referee's going to stop the clock. Let's have a word with 2 players.
Yes, you'll have a word with Theo Farge. You'll have a word with Zach Hardaker about the afters.
Listen, once the ball's in touch, we'll come to a turnover. Let's get away. We don't need any grappling. It's a turnover here.
So Saints will get the ball back.
James,
Just to
turn over
emphasise
there.
Phil's point about Theo Farge, signed from the Catalan Dragons by Salford when he was just 16 years of age in 2013, coming into this game as a real teenager, almost just having left school.
And I'd give him that. I'd give him that with Zach Hardaker, former Man of Steel, in terrific form in 2017, and Theo Farge wouldn't back down, and I think he won that exchange.
Well, on the 6th of July, Castleford turned around at Wakefield 16 points to 0 down. They went on and won the match 25-24. They're being tested here again tonight in the first half.
Justin Albert would have taught him, coming into this game, make sure you do the little things well. Don't turn the ball over cheaply. Let's make sure that we get to our kick. And they're certainly inviting Castleford into this game. Everyone have got to make sure that you turn up, you do your own job. If we all do our own job, we'll compete with Cass. But you can't turn the ball over to them so close to your own line.
Yes, this is a Castleford scrum for the forward pass from Roby.
Again, Eddie, you want to hit the ball flat. You want to get over that advantage line. You want to get the ball in your hands as quick as you can, but you've got to give yourself the extra bit of space.
Pitch markings gave St Helens away then. The ball did drift forward. So Castleford with 2.5 minutes to the half-time break, trailing 8-0. Can they get over for what would be a priceless try for them as Matt Cook takes it forward once again? Somehow gets to within 21, 22 metres of the line. McShane finds Gale. Gale gives it to Hardacre. And Morgan gets to him, so too did Richardson, but he got a bang, did Richardson. Shenton to Gale again, he goes back the same way, short ball, Foster, good defence from Ryan Morgan. Hardacre spreads it this time to Gale. Gale then to Senny Lefeo, takes the return, McMeekin, good hands. Good hands again from McMeekin back to Gale. Wouldn't let it die, good stuff. Lateral run, Foster trying to jink his way past Morgan, does so!
Well, he doesn't get there,
Does not get over. Great defence again from St Helens. Morgan low down, Roby on top, and then the penalty.
Well, he just couldn't get out of the way, could he, Ryan Morgan? Castleford switching the lines of attack from one side to the other. Luke Gale just bouncing across the line, looking to pull a defender out.
Big last minute coming up then for both sides. For Castleford here with Roberts to McMeekin out the back door, and Minikin has hold of it despite Regan Grace almost getting to it. There is Roberts. Roberts now to Senny Lefeo. This St Helens defence in the first half has been nothing short of magnificent. Can they hang on as Milner gives the ball?
Move, John! Goal line, Ryan!
And Cook will pick himself up off the floor. McShane will fire it then to Roberts. Collision ahead of everybody. Bounces off McMeekin and backwards. Got away with that. Got away with that little chip over the top from McMeekin. Oh, nearly fumbled by Lomax. He does well.
Oh, there's a fight in the background.
Well, there was a collision off the ball.
Wasn't that an excellent take from Johnny Lomax? The ball bouncing along the floor.
Eddie, I agree with you. This is outstanding defence from St Helens. Set after set after set. And there's the collision. Morgan Knowles, I think it is, with Adam Milner. A couple of pit bulls. Is it Lamb Patrick?
He's
go away,
there
guys,
as well.
please. You go that way.
No, it's
over there.
It's Milner.
Just go that way, please. Yeah, mate.
It's Knowles.
Okay.
McShane's involved.
Tackle
Cook's
one, Ian.
involved.
Tackle one here.
Tell you what, Eddie, Theo Fars is doing a tremendous job in defence against Mike McMeekin. He's been targeted a number of times, and he stood up to it.
Get back here and
Young Morgan Knowles, well, he's another player who's standing up to the challenge.
Matty Smith has just come on for the last half minute here, by the way.
To the markers. Back here. Tackle.
Well, Morgan Knowles
Matt Cook!
has hit on suspicion.
Matt! Get closer to it.
Not to the Castleford player. Back.
Go.
Referee taking no
You go before the ball
action.
again. I'm penalising
Just
now.
saying, get on with the game.
Move back here. Hold.
As I say, Matty
Got
Smith
your shot,
is
mate.
on the field, waiting for his first touch.
You'd be just looking for simple carries here. There's a penalty.
Offside, this will relieve the pressure.
What an outstanding first half defensively from the Saints. I mean, some teams beat Castleford when the Tigers are starved of any field position, but they've had over 30 players close to the line, and he's all smiles at the moment.
They've never won at St Helens, home ground. 25 defeats and a draw. The draw 32-all at the old Knowsley Road in September 1998. That's as close as they have come. But what do the league leaders have in the locker at the start of this second half? And I'll tell you what they have. They have a penalty on halfway because Johnny Lomax has humped the ball out straight from the kick-off.
Well, they wouldn't have been looking to make a mistake. They need to respect the ball in this second half. The first half, our stat shows that they made 70 tackles more than Castleford. That may tell towards the back end of the game. John Wilkin leading the way with 34, so Castleford looking to attack Saints' right-hand side, but respect the ball. I'm sure that was what Coach Justin Holbrook would have been talking about.
Well, they are one of just 3 teams who have beaten Castleford this year. Easter Monday at St Helens, they won 26-22, the Saints. But here they have to defend early at the start of this second half because Castleford are looking for their first points of the match with Gale. Here is Foster away from Wormsley, can't get away from Knowles. The 10 metres out now, Castleford. That's McShane. That was Milner. Roberts is the runner. Here is Hardacre. Percival out very quickly with Zebtea to bring him down.
He spotted him then, Mark Percival. Zach Hardacre out the back.
Senny Lefeo. Standing start for him. And he lose a little bit of ground. Alex Walmsley wouldn't be put off, neither would Wilkin, neither would Morgan Knowles. McShane on the last for Castleford. Gale dropped the ball onto his foot, and Roby stuck a leg out and got the ball back for St Helens.
Well, at least Regan Grace will be happy about that. He was peppered in the first half with high kicks to his corner on the left wing, of course, of St Helens. Maybe Luke Gale's decided a different strategy might be the best way of scoring points or forcing a goal line dropout.
Here comes Kyle Amor. There is Regan Grace. Sensational start to his Super League career on Good Friday against Wigan, a debut try, and he followed that up with a try in the Easter Monday victory over Castleford at the St Helens own ground. So comes here with a big reputation, as does this fellow Mark Percival, running laterally, getting away from 2 or 3, now straightening it up, and Gale stuck to him with McShane. And down he goes under pressure from Alex Foster too. Last tackle coming up for the Saints here. Back it goes to Matty Smith inside the 40, but goes straight down the middle of the pitch and will be picked up by Joel Monaghan. Right, half-time news from the dressing rooms. Here's Bill.
Eddie Darrell Powell pretty pleased with the defensive effort of his side in the first 40 minutes. Just the one try conceded. It's the attack that they need to brush up on. Too many errors. If they can get that going, they can put some pressure on Saints in an attacking position. That's what they're aiming to do. Also smarten up the kicking game. Bit frustrated, Castleford. They're not able to play at the pace they like to play at, and that's a tribute to the Saints defence. Justin Holbrook very happy with the defensive effort from his side in the first 40 minutes. Very similar to Castleford in that respect. Defence great, attack could be better. All round pretty pleased. Danny Richardson off the field for Saints, bang on the head towards the end of that first half as the ball goes out to play. Richardson will stay off the field just to keep an eye on him. It's not a concussion issue, but they're keeping him off the field. Matty Smith stays on. Matty Smith still getting back into the swing of things after his layoff since that eye injury at the end of June. He told me before the game that he is a bit apprehensive going into this match after the damage he sustained to that left eye. He went through a lot of pain. At one point he thought he'd actually lost the use of the eye, and so he was very relieved to be back out there.
Thanks, Bill. Meanwhile, Regan Grace comes up with a knock-on on the floor.
Is it because he's nearly knocked out, maybe? Sure, there's contact with the head there.
Well, there was contact with the head as part of the tackle, so I think he's been unlucky with that one.
Well, it's Foster who goes over the top. That is a penalty. To Saints. He obviously goes to the ground. The pressure from McShane, he loses the ball.
Regan Grace, his team under pressure, deemed a mistake by the officials. Sonny Lefeo finds Roberts. This is sensational, St Helens defence, it really is. Greg Minikin picks himself up. Sonny Lefeo again. Amor, Walmsley working hard to bring the big fella down. Samoan international way back in 2014. Luke Gale now gives it to Alex Foster. Foster finds Shenton. Shenton gets it wide to Hitchcox.
Again, look how they recover in numbers.
Outstanding they are in defence tonight, thus far the Saints. This is Milner. Sonny Lefeo comes back the other way, flicks the pass then to Luke Gale. And Gale will attack this line, as he's done every line that he's attacked in 2017. Goes down under the challenge from Taylor and Amor. There is McShane, gets it away to McMeekin. Boy, they're doing a job on these Castleford Tigers runners thus far tonight, the Saints defence. Down the short side, McShane tried to get the ball to stay in the in-goal area. It did. It was a hand there by St Helens. It's a goal line dropout.
Well, more defensive work for St Helens to do, and it's not just the line speed, it's not just the contact, the control, it's all aspects of the defence, their attitude, their effort. And Cas Tigers have broken countless defensive patterns and strategies down. It's took them sometimes tonight. They're testing, they're probing, they look a little bit better so far in this second half.
Eddie, attack's not what tires you out as a player, it's all the defensive efforts that you're doing, mentally and physically. You can't give that man's side that much possession because you know that they will score points, Cass. We've seen it all year, scored more points than anybody else in Super League.
The one tick in the box for St Helens, of course, is that they have, as have Castleford, they have had the week off last week because they weren't involved in a semi-final. Won't be the same tomorrow night when we see Leeds and Wigan, of course. They played 2 ferocious cup semi-finals last weekend. This, meanwhile, though, Jesse Senny Lefeo. He finds McShane at the play the ball, screams for a penalty for not standing square. Gale will attack the line again. Walmsley once more. And man lying in the ruck is John Wilkin. It's another penalty to Castleford.
Well, he just can't get out of there, can he? It was the show and go from Luke Gale. John Wilkin trapped underneath. Alex Walmsley couldn't get back round and reposition himself in front of Luke Gale.
Here comes Milner then on the first tackle.
Move, Alex, goal line. Hold it square,
They're underneath the sticks. McShane. It's Roberts. Long pass. Minikin. Trying to go through them. Gets through a couple. Gets very close to the line. Good work in defence again from Mark Percival. Roberts. Senny Lefeo. Again, Saints deal with the threat. McShane, 10 metres out. Here comes Matt Cook. Great tackle by Roby. Roby trying to get away from Cook, and they give another penalty away. The referee's patience is being tested here. Another set of 6 coming at them.
They won't be far off a team warning here, Saints.
McShane just hangs on, takes the first. Gale. He's waiting there, but this is Adam Milner who gets over. Adam Milner gets the try for Castleford Tigers that puts them back in the match. Adam Milner has missed the last 2. His last appearance was in that comeback win at Wakefield, 25-24, when they were trailing 16-0 at half-time. And Adam Milner, with his 3rd try of the season, has put Castleford on the board after 7.5 minutes of the second half. And here comes the league leaders.
It's been very patient from the Tigers. They've just chipped away. Luke Gale forces Robert Hicks to blow his whistle. A defender left down on the floor in a St Helens shirt, John Wilkin. And again, Big Matt Cook, the bench have made a massive difference. Milner scores the try. Cook earns the penalty. It's good stuff. Even though the Saints defenders are in, trying to slow it down, trying to control it, they're back and reloaded, but that's just smart work from Adam Milner. Wonderful stuff.
Well, Morgan Knowles gets it wrong, doesn't he? He flies the line. He opens up the space for that man, Adam Milner. You said in the first half, Eddie, what a great hooker he is, but the transition to go to the back of the pack, but he certainly gives his side a lift, and he spotted that Morgan Knowles shot the line, opened up the space, and that man's got cast back in this game.
Yes, he has, and Luke Gale should add the extras here. First player in Super League to go past 100 goals this year. Luke Gale, he's got 107. He now has 108, but more importantly, Castleford have 6, Saints have 8 points on the board.
It's amazing, isn't it, when you think of the spectacular tries that Castleford have scored this year, but this one is equally as significant. They've had so much field position, so long, so many players attacking the Saints line, 6 times as much as the visitors, and finally they managed to find a crack in that line. Gets them back now within 2 points.
It also proves how important the message from the coaches at half-time. Darryl Powell said some very obvious things, but how his side has responded, they've continued to build and pile pressure on the opposition in good field position, and sooner or later that was going to turn into points.
I wonder if St Helens dare remember 3 months ago when they came here and were beaten 53 points to 10 in the Challenge Cup. They were only 10-4 down at one stage. Zeb Teya had a try ruled out by the video referee, who just happened to be Robert Hicks after 22 minutes of the game. And Castleford just pushed the afterburners and ran out convincing winners. Well, they are back in the hunt here, but this is a different St Helens side, I think, that we're watching tonight than were on duty 3 months ago here.
And a couple of changes as well for Justin Holbrook Saints. Bringing back on Luke Thompson, who was very good in his opening spell, along with Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Tried to give him some punch, some go forward now.
McMeekin just holds his collarbone or something there as the ball goes high off the boot this time of Ben Roberts. Lomax waits, claims it. The challenge from Hardacre was perfect. He has a problem. Is it the sternum?
Collarbone, possibly.
Or the collar, yeah. In some discomfort anyway, isn't he, Mike McMeekin? They don't want to lose him.
Yeah, he would be a big loss if he had to leave the field, Mike McMeekin. With the ball, he's very good going forward defensively. He holds up that right-hand side.
Here's that man, Luke Thompson. Solid run from him.
They've got Oliver Holmes on the bench, Cass Tigers. He's playing.
He's out there.
He's on the left side at the minute. He could possibly fill in on the right side.
Matty Smith drills the kick all along the ground, looking for touch on the far side. Zach Hardaker not interested.
That was a brilliant kick under pressure. Tigers do that well, don't they? They have a man get up very quickly. It was Paul McShane. He got into his face, changed his direction, but he hit it hard and low. There was no way that Zach Harder felt he'd take the risk here now to try and scoop that up. Bounces over the sideline. They've got from one end of the field to the other. They've had a very tough opening 10 minutes this second half. They've obviously conceded those 6 points. After a shaky start, you know, they need to build their way back into it.
Well, they have featured in every Super League, Super 8 campaign so far of Castleford and St Helens, along with Wigan and Hull. Castleford, though, the only one of the 4 to miss out on a playoff semi-final. They know if they win here tonight, they get a home playoff semi-final come the day, and a glorious chance of getting to Old Trafford. Saints, though, know a victory for them will take them into the top 4. It would be their highest place of the year so far if they become the first team to beat Castleford at home this year. Then the pressure will be on Wakefield at Huddersfield and Salford at Hull tomorrow night, when Leeds and Wigan will also be in action, of course, live right here on Sky Sports.
And they've got to make sure, Saints, that they keep the pressure on Cass for the last 28 minutes, because you know that Cass will be one of those sides that they'll throw the ball around, they'll play behind a good kicking game from that man Luke Gale.
Look at the chase from Hardaker. Grace does well. Wow, he had to take that. He knew it too. Fumbles that and Castleford might have been in, but Regan Grace stood up well.
That's a tremendous take from the young man in that bottom corner. And I don't know whether it's me, I don't know whether I'm sensing something that's not there, but the passion levels in the last couple of minutes are just starting to rise. I'm watching the captains, John Wilkin and Luke Gale for Castleford. Luke Gale and John Wilkin just chirping at one another.
Morgan Knowles, he steps through a couple of challenges, gets the ball away to Luke Thompson. Here come the Saints, and they've got Theo Farge in support, and that's scrambling defence that keeps him down. Could have been a penalty then. Smith gives it to Lomax. There's Roby! And Roby scores for St Helens. Referee hasn't given it yet.
This is the last tackle.
Have they seen something? They've got a try on the field.
The merits of an 8-point try for the challenge by Oliver Holmes.
Oh well, we're looking at a possible 8-point try here because of a challenge by Oliver Holmes, and Roby is certainly groggy having scored this try.
Well, the extra penalty following foul play on the try scorer is what Robert Hicks is referring to. It'll come after the conversion if it's seen to be appropriate. So I think he's grounded. I can't see a great deal wrong so far.
That's a hard hit, low down. There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's have a look at this one.
Does he make contact with the head, though? Is that the issue there? We can't see from this angle. That's perhaps what a penalty could be awarded for, Barry.
There's nothing
a desperate defender will do desperate things. Oliver Holmes is trying to prevent that ball being put down. There's nothing wrong with it for me.
Can't see anything wrong with that, really. I think this will just be awarded as a try and nothing else.
The try is given to James Roby. He obviously took a clatter somewhere along the way to scoring that try. But James Roby, man of the match in the 2014 Grand Final. 7 years before that, he was man of steel, and that could be a crucial blow for Saints tonight.
Well, there was a good read from Knowles when he goes through, but look at the composure from the prop forward, Luke Thompson, who I said earlier started the game well. He's up the ante again in the second half. Saints playing on the front foot. Johnny Lomax comes up from the full-back position, takes control at first man, and he just goes at the line, tips the ball on to Mr. Dependable, James Roby. And that's exactly what Saints needed. They needed to reply with a try, and that man's certainly done that.
Well, at this time of the year, the going gets tough and the tough get going. And James Roby now has scored tries in 5 of the last 6 matches. And this from Mark Percival to restore St Helens' 8-point advantage. That's exactly what he does. Castleford 6, St Helens 14. 55 minutes or thereabouts on the clock.
Well, that was a superb try, but you can trace it all the way back to the take from Regan Grace. Under pressure, in the lights, on a Thursday night, first game of the Super 8s. Well done, that young man.
Yes, brave take, wasn't it? Under so much pressure.
Coming toward you.
And at the end of all of that, this man, 11 years his senior, and has been there, seen it, and got the T-shirt. James Roby has scored what could be a crucial try.
Surrender!
Long way to go yet, though.
Well, there are moments in matches where you have to make maximum efforts. When you consider that Saints had had so little of the ball in this second half, they were a little bit fatigued, but as soon as they made that break, there was a flood of support along it, and then they converted one chance. They've had one chance in the second half, and have put 6 points on the board, a sign of a class team.
Stand, hold, go, 3.
Here comes Morgan Knowles again, but not for long because of Oliver Holmes.
Stand, hold,
He's had a
go, 4.
tough year, the toughest year since he broke into the side in 2010. He's missed the last 14. They've missed him. Oliver Holmes there being dragged off the grounded player by Nathan Massey, but he's back for this important stage of the season where the Tigers need 3 wins to be 100% certain of finishing as league leaders for the first time in their history. 2 would probably do because they've got a vastly superior points difference on the rest of the field. But 3 to be mathematically sure.
Hold, John, hold, James, hold.
But at the moment they're 8 points away from even 1 point here against the Saints, who, don't forget, if they win, will get into the top 4 themselves. There's a penalty coming to St Helens here because Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook was dragged off the grounded player. Was it by Ben Roberts?
Yeah, you can see that Louis McCarthy, well, he's all over.
He can't do that though, Robert Stewart, can he?
You have to leave it to the referee. If he thinks it's a penalty, he'll penalise him, but you can't drag a player off like that.
Obviously,
So the penalty could have gone the other way.
It could have done, but you've got to leave it to the referee to give that penalty, and don't take the law into your own hands.
That's frustration, that, Eddie. You want your teammate to play the ball quickly. Hitchcock was trying to get up. Yeah, Louis McCarthy was all over the top of him. Let the referee deal with that.
So Smith gives it to McCarthy-Scarsbrook, who takes it back in at Grant Millington. Mike McMeekin to test out that bang on his collarbone he got earlier on. Here's Morgan Knowles again. Oliver Holmes cuts him down with the challenge. Roby then to Matty Smith. Smith then finds Farge. Short ball from him. Zeb Taylor, that's an important tackle from Roberts.
Excellent play, Roberts.
Here's Lomax. Lomax trying to get the ball away, smuggles it back to Roby. Roby then gives it to Lomax. Lomax gives it a bit of width to Smith. He then finds Morgan Knowles. And St Helens camped down 10 metres away from the Castleford line with Roby. Here is Smith looking for the runners. It's Lomax. And Lomax found the touch judge and the first row of the stands, but he didn't find Tommy Makinson.
Well, they were pressured into making that mistake because of, look at Castleford getting up, jamming up, pulling the trigger, shooting in and trying to close the player down. And they forced Saints into throwing that pass. There was space out on the edge, but they couldn't get the clean pass away to Tommy Makinson because of the pressure that that man was put on. You can see him saying to his teammate, Tom Makinson, maybe you need to come a bit flatter.
I think Tommy Makinson might say, maybe you need to give me a better pass.
Castleford trying to work the ball away from their own line. But that's good harassment on Jai Hitchcock from those 3. McShane, Massey, straight at Roby.
There's a lot of work going on by Saints here. If you just look at them when they go into contact, trying to
maybe something here down the left-hand side. Had Shenton been able to get it wide to Hitchcock's. As it is, they have to go up the middle with Oliver Holmes. Must be delighted to be back, Holmes. In a match of such importance. Millington, Massey, good running and good movement behind him, but solid defence again from Saints. Last tackle Roberts away from 2. Straightens it up, Roberts. Gets the ball away though, does he? No, the referee says the tackle was completed. That'll be the turnover.
He fell awkwardly as well, didn't he? Ben Roberts. And he goes into that tackle.
You know, we're almost at the hour mark, and by our records, St Helens have made 300 tackles and missed just 10. That has to be a season best performance for them. Their commitment, their effort. Can they maintain it though for the final quarter? Because they're going to certainly be tested across the full width of the pitch, and hopefully probably an even faster pace than what we've seen for the last 60 minutes.
Let's just say again, just 2 away wins all year. In Perpignan, and their only win previously on English soil at Wakefield a couple of weeks ago. So this is a big performance from the Saints tonight, and it will, if they hang on, it will certainly lay the marker down.
Big performance by some big players who've been there, they've done it. See that man behind to play the ball. He's got so much experience, James Roby. He could be key in this game.
We've hit the hour mark, last 20 minutes, quarter of the game to go. Matty Smith will hoist this high to the right-hand side. Comes back off Peru and back to Lomax. Still the last tackle. Oh, that's a slightly forward pass, I think.
Wow.
And that's offside, isn't it, by Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook?
Well, it's a brain explosion, isn't it, by the prop forward, Louis McCarthy.
Well, they lost the plot, didn't they, on that last play? It could be costly here, because instead of trapping their opponents close to their own try line here, they're going to be defending again, once again in their own half of the field. Luke Gale now, Cajole and his team. Only some 6 players. There's a disappointment there to end of the set.
He's angry, Justin Holbrook, the way that set ended. Here comes Oliver Holmes. Halted by Peru. Nathan Massey now for Castleford. McShane. Millington. Gale. Back he comes to Shenton. Shenton wide to Hitchcox. Oh, what a tackle, but the ball is still in play. Hardaker. Makinson. Over the sideline he goes.
And we saw it in the first half when Saints were like they were broken, out on the same side. The defenders that turned up in numbers come across to help the teammate. They're throwing absolutely everything at Cass. Lethal on the left edge, Cass. We've seen it all year, the way that they've scored tries. Looking after that man, Zach Hardaker, who chimes into the line, creates that space for his teammate. And clever ball as well from Shenton. But what about that for the tackle?
There's 3 players in the frame on that first challenge on Lomax. There's another 3 players. I'm going to say we've got 61.5 minutes. I haven't seen Saints defend this well. Have the commitment and effort level in this game, in defence and attack. I'm going to say it's 16 points to 14. With all that time, I think Saints are going home with the 2 points here.
Stand by for the Castleford revival.
They are on the money, Saints, tonight.
They played very well thus far. Thompson.
Again, I'll say it about that man. I think he's been outstanding, Thompson.
McCarthy-Scarsbrook tackled out of it by McShane. Also Massey.
Time it, Nathan.
This is Wilkin. Steps out of that challenge from Milner. Can't get away from that one from McShane. 4 tackles, only 14 metres made. Good defence now from Castleford. McCarthy-Scarsbrook, though, making a few more to reach tackle number 5 after 25 metres. So stand by for the kick. Hitchcox and Hardaker have funneled back all along the deck. It's into the arms of Hardaker.
Look at that chase. Important period of the game, mate. For Saints. Make sure that the discipline, get to that kick, leave it up to the number 7. Matty Smith, just let him organise and sit behind the team that's going forward.
Hitchcox to his feet. Hardaker into centre field to Millington. Millington trying to resist the challenge of Wilkin, does, but look at how many red V jerseys are surrounding him. Roberts, skinny 10. That was by Robert Hicks. Takes them back a bit further this time. Luke Gale will attack the line. Gives it then to Oliver Holmes. Holmes gets through one challenge, finds Shenton. Done a great job on Michael Shenton tonight, St Helens, their former star, of course. Oh, but then they give a penalty away. Oh, he's in the bin.
Again under pressure here.
Is he in the bin?
No, he's not.
No?
He was signalling a push. It looked like a 10-minute time.
He did. Why did he put two hands up his?
Because he pushed him, Eddie.
Pushed him, that's
You're
what he
getting carried away, aren't you?
Yellow card over here.
You
Yellow
push.
card.
You push.
They've had that many penalties in that part of the field. If they kicked all the two, they'd be ahead by now.
Goal line.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would. They're not interested in that. Here is Roberts. Take your point about the yellow card, but I've seen them do that before the yellow card's brandished.
Hold, go.
Anyway, my mistake. Milner, Gale, Shenton. Again, they do a job on him.
It's the inside defenders. The first man holds him up, and then it's your teammates coming in to close that tackle down.
Gale finds Massey. Spins away from one challenge. Luke Thompson is there with Roby, who's run his blood to water, James Roby. Milner, good hands, Roberts gets the ball away, Matt Meakin, what great defence again.
It's
That
incredible.
was
isn't it?
Lomax. Roberts, back he comes to Gale. Gale slides the kick in. It's a 20-metre restart.
And if-
Makinson's quickly after it.
If Saints go on to win this game, this is down to sheer desire.
Great run from Makinson. He's left one man lying on the ground in his wake. Here goes Regan Grace. I think it's Millington who's flat out. It is.
Time off. Tackle one, doctor's on. Tackle one. Regan, you're playing
It's
it.
the speed of thought from Saints, and the way that they defend. They're resolute in their defence, but as soon as they get that ball, they're on the toes and looking to translate, and get straight into attack mode. Does he catch a finger in the eye, Millington?
Off Tommy Makinson, I think so.
Makinson, while he's trying to hand off the big front row, he might catch him.
He's going to go, so he's all right. Just watch that run there.
About speed for Saints then, wasn't it?
Scratch on the eyes as well underneath, you see. Tommy Makinson might have cut his fingernails this morning.
Well, Darryl Powell will be
Bang in the
hoping
nose
that he's
as well.
okay. Grant Millington.
Well, no, they're making the signal that it's a concussion problem, maybe.
Be ahead, tell him. I think they know.
Darryl Powell will have to replace Grant Millington.
At least
For
one
the
of
time being, it won't be one that will count on the interchange, because it's a head test he's going for to check he's A-OK.
He's one of the players that you won't want to lose.
On me, Regan.
Good strong play. First one from Makinson, second one from Regan Grace. Then all of a sudden, there's 40 metres from Cassie's line because of the efforts from the outside backs, the two wingers.
Okay.
Well, they've had a breather, which is crucial for St Helens after all this defence. Here comes Walmsley. He lifts Senny Lefeo off his feet. Not many have done that. And then Milner.
Go for 2 points here, Eddie.
I would think so.
More or less centre field. Good strong carry.
Did I notice Justin Holbrook saying keep the pressure on?
John, what we're doing?
And that's the difference with Alex Walmsley. A good run up, he catches the ball at full pace, meters after contact then because he's a big man to handle, and rewards come off the back of it.
And they are keeping the pressure on, and here comes Walmsley again. Here comes Walmsley again. Roberts and Lefeo bringing him down. Roby spins the pass to Matty Smith. Here is Wilkin. 10 metres out the Saints. Roby. Smith. Short ball. Walmsley. Gets to the line but is held up just short. We'll play it here to Roby. Matty Smith. Farge. Milner does the job in the end. Bit of pushing and shoving on the floor. Could have been another penalty. There's Peru. This is Smith. Fires the pass to Wilkin. Zeptea gets the ball back to Wilkin. Wilkin goes wide. Here is Mark Percival. Percival keeps it alive to Matty Smith. Smith slides the kick through, looking for Lomax. Finds Lomax. Try for Saints. Avon McManus, the chairman, on his feet. Justin Holbrook not much behind him. And the St Helens supporters believe that this is a big night for them. Castleford, remember, never beaten on this ground so far this year. Darryl Powell's men stirring down the barrels now. 18-6 down, 13 and a quarter minutes to come. Lomax with the try.
Eddie, a couple of those Saints players wanted to go for the 2 points. Justin Holbrook sat in the stand, watching the likes of this man, Walmsley, go forward, earn his side a penalty. And he senses, no, let's keep on going, let's keep the pressure on. We've got him on the back foot. He can spot something from sat in the stand. And all of a sudden, the movement from Saints, the offloading game, so close to the opposition's line. Mark Percival, again, he's looking to pull someone out the line, goes across the line, and Johnny Lomax called for this kick from Matty Smith. He placed it in the correct position. Look at him, he's looking up, seeing where his men are. And this is a big, big play for the Saints.
Well, we've heard the players and the coaches talk about this Super 8 being another competition. It's another level, it's another intensity. I think we've seen players from both sides raise their standards for the Super 8s.
And we also hear people criticising the Super 8s. There is nothing to be critical of here tonight. And the race this year is very much on for a place at Old Trafford. Mark Percival then here to make it a 14-point advantage. This for 6 points to Cass, 20 to the Saints. That's what it is. And St Helens know that 13 months ago, the last team that won here was Warrington, 42-26. They're on the verge of making a big statement in this first match of the Super 8s 2017.
Well, what's so impressive for me about St Helens' ability to be ahead in this game and possibly even win it is that they've done it with the minority of possession. They've had less ball than their opponents, they've had to do more defending, and yet they've converted all of their chances into points, and that's why they have 20 on the table. You know, they proved last year, didn't they, all the players, the Cass players offside at that kickoff, they proved last year when the pressure was on, they won 6 of 7 in the Super 8s. This side, in its DNA as a performance, is disappointed about something. That should have been a penalty because all of the opposition set up before the kick was made.
Yes, he wasn't too impressed with something then, but he must be impressed with the way his team have performed tonight.
He is an angry man. He lives and breathes every tackle. Reminds me a little bit of Michael Maguire when Michael Maguire was over here with Wigan. Very loud, very vociferous, very passionate, and his team have showed plenty of passion tonight.
Farge goes wide to Mark Percival. Percival wants to get up and play the ball, gets away from Monaghan's legs. There's Matty Smith. Oh, a knock on by Percival. It's got to come back because it was a kick for touch that ricocheted back off a Castleford player.
As he bends down to pick this ball up, there's
On the 10, mate, please.
a little fumble there, the first little touch.
That's an escape maybe for Castleford. Can they turn something into it? They've got just over 10 minutes remaining to protect this home record of theirs. Hardacre's pass finds Monaghan, and it wasn't a knock on.
Cass are going to up the tempo of the game, start forcing that pass. No, but you've got to say, looking at Saints, the way that they've defended, they've dealt with the pressure, haven't they? Even though when they've made mistakes and give penalties away close to the line, they've only conceded one try against the free-flowing Cass side that everyone's been talking about how good they've been this year.
Milner to Gale, and here's Oliver Holmes. They won't be turning it in just yet. Keeps it alive to Gale once more. Roberts. And Roberts sees a little gap. Hitchcock's to Gale. Crossfield kick from Gale. Play on. Backwards off Saints, a play on. Regan Grace has it.
Percival went up for it, the ball went backwards, and Saints nullify the threat.
Here's Regan Grace again.
Tried that kick a few times in the first half. Castleford looking for Big Joe Monaghan on that side.
Thompson. Roby at dummy half. Into centre field to Wilkin. Peyroux. Here's Roby again. And a typical run from Roby. Ooh, the support was there from Lomax. Couldn't just get the ball away. This is Theo Farge. He goes for game management, but straight into the chest of Jai Hitchcock's.
Yeah, be disappointed with that kick, Theo Farge.
He will be in a moment if Hitchcock gets away. And he's still not down. and he keeps the movement going. He finds Hardacre. This is Minikin.
You said, Eddie, that's Castleford looking to play on the front foot, looking to keep the ball alive, put that doubt in the opposition's mind.
Monaghan goes down. Milner. Well, it's an heroic performance defensively from St Helens, but they've also scored some sensational tries tonight. Quick hands, chance for Monaghan. Castleford not dead yet. Monaghan in the corner takes a clack on the head for his pains.
This is a try, Eddie.
Not given.
I think Joe Monaghan does everything to stay in field. It's a dangerous Castleford side with nothing to lose at the minute.
Just wants to check the grounding, Robert Hicks. So Phil Bentham, over to you.
Well, it certainly looks like the usual Castleford try. I think the touches on the far side was obscured, but I think that ball's down perfectly well before. It just might touch the touching goal line, but the ball's down fine. I think this will be given as a try. No problem at all. There we are, the ball's down, try.
Ball down before it hits the corner post.
The corner post doesn't matter, it's whether it touches that line at any time, but I think the ball's down before it touches the line, so I think that'll be okay.
You've got to remember as well, the way the ball is shaped, the belly of the ball is going to touch the grass before the edge of the ball. That's why I agree. He certainly knows how to score a try, doesn't he?
Also, the groundsman hasn't really painted the line terribly well over on that far side.
The ball's down. Give it a try and let's move on.
Wow, Stuart's very confident with this one.
Very confident. Spectacular try from Joel Monaghan, yes it is. Well, 350 career games on both sides of the world for Joel Monaghan. Big role to play with Eden out. Luke Gale wasting no time. He'd already placed the ball on the kicking tee, ready for this conversion attempt. And with 8 minutes to go, big kick here. Brilliant. Great kick from Luke Gale. 12-20, 8 points in it. Are we in for one of those special finishes?
Well, St Helens have done an incredible job in defending everything that Castleford have thrown at them. They've had enough time to prepare. It's been a good game plan by the coach Justin Holbrook, but now it's a different animal. It's a different Castleford who will throw anything and everything at the Saints now.
You know, we've watched this sport now for the last 20 years as a Super League tournament, and we've now got the old entertainers versus the new. The Castleford side have almost reinvented the way that rugby league teams attack this season and the way they've played with spectacular tries. They're under pressure here now with less than 8 minutes to find 8 points or more and win this match.
Let's see how they do. Let's see whether they can do it. Roberts is underneath the kickoff. Here they come again. Lefeo. You would think, despite the fact they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this, you would think that fatigue in the end might catch St Helens out, but there's no sign of it yet.
Well, there's not. You'd look at what defensively they've both done. Castleford have only made 249 tackles, yet the Saints have turned up here and they made 372. It's incredible, really.
And they've come up with a knock-on here by Larne Patrick.
And this is where they do need the ball. They can't slow the game down thinking that, yeah, we've got this game in the bag. They've still got to keep trying to pressure the opposition. But that's just a good shot from Ryan Morgan, the centre. Larne Patrick loses control of that ball. He's trying to get down. He's trying to play the ball quickly for his coach. And they just can't do that.
Big night for Castleford in the Super 8s. Have won only 2 of 8 playoff games previously that they've been involved in, losing each of the last 6. And John Wilkin, I think I noticed a clash of heads with Ryan Morgan as that tackle was made, so he leaves the fray.
Well, there's few people worked harder than him. He's made over 50 tackles. James Roby the same. They've been tireless, they've been energetic, and they've given everything. It's almost felt like a playoff game, the intensity. They've had more than 13 white shirts on the field at one time. It's appeared that way with the defensive covering plays that they've come up with. They really have got themselves up for this one.
Only wins for Castleford at playoff level, 99 at Wigan and Leeds, but then a defeat at St Helens denied them an Old Trafford appearance. With a home semi-final begging for them in 2017, they could make it this time. But I think what we've seen tonight is that nobody is going to lie down. And every one of the 8 teams still in the hunt for Old Trafford believe that they can get there as well. McCarthy Scarsbrook, charging run underneath the posts. Roby, wide it comes to Smith. Smith then will find Lomax. Lomax comes back across the face of play. Milner gets to him.
Milner again, wasn't it?
Roby to Theo Farge. Steps inside McShane, fires the pass wide. They have a man wide in Regan Grace. Percival down the line, and Roberts to the rescue. Goes out, touching goal. Goal line dropout.
Brilliant kick. Mark Percival with nowhere to go, nothing in front of him. It's 2-on-2. Drops it on the end of his toe. And Ben Roberts, who's been another outstanding performer for the Tigers, has no option. Just get the ball off the island. And the coach, Justin Holbrook, is delighted with the way his side's played so far.
Again, it's just that repeat set 6, isn't it, Barry? 12-all in this second half. It was 8-0 at half-time to Saints.
Well, 5 minutes of this match remaining. It looks like it might be unlucky 13 for the Castleford Tigers. 12 Super League wins in a row. And they have just over 5 minutes to score more than 8 points to maintain this winning run. But Roby has other ideas, so too does Amor.
It's been good, Roby. In the thick of it, right in the middle of everything for Saints.
And looking to seal it, and does seal it with a fabulous individual try. It will be his second try. They have a try on the field.
He's been absolutely outstanding.
We think he's just going for grounding because I think we've lost his microphone on his shirt.
Yeah, the word from the touch judge was that he wants to check the grounding. Where does he get to? Is he on the line? He's given try on the field, we have to remember that. How does he end up? Well, I don't think he's actually tackled. I can't see anybody hold of him. Maybe on the legs. It looked short on the first one and then moved over.
Does Roby move it, or does his momentum and the hand coming across him, does that drag him across?
Look at the position of Robert Hicks, though, Eddie. Look at the position. He's right in front of that, got a clear view of it. He said try.
And it's on the line
now. The
now.
ball goes on the line.
Well, we need to see this at normal speed, and I'm sure they'll look at it at normal speed.
He doesn't lose possession of it, though, does he,
No,
Stuart?
he doesn't, but that'll give us our answer, because it's difficult to see whether the momentum takes it over until you see this. Well, you don't see any movement there here, so I think this try will be awarded based on what you see there. This one should be confirmed.
I don't think there's a problem yet. It was short, first of all. Could he have been dragged over by all of the Holmes as well? There's no big jump, there's no big movement. Second effort from Roby.
He's not promoted the ball.
Oh, it's a try, this. Looking at it at normal speed, you can't see hardly any movement, so this will be awarded.
So James Roby's second try of the match has secured the win for St Helens. They do have a great record on this ground. OK, beaten here twice this year, but before the cup defeat in May, they'd won 8 of the previous 9. It's one of the places they enjoy coming to. And St Helens now are putting pressure on the others in the top 4. As I say, Wakefield at Huddersfield tomorrow and Salford at Hull know what they have to do. And for the first time in 2017, we see 1 or 2 glum faces on the Castleford terraces.
Let's be right about James Roby. He's an absolute freak, isn't he? 2 tries, 56 tackles. Is he just got himself back into the reckoning for the World Cup squad come the end of the year?
Well, he's, as you say, he's a heck of a competitor. He won't give up.
He's a tremendous competitor.
Mark Percival to just put a little bit of icing on the cake. 26-12, the Saints ahead with 4 minutes to go. They've won this.
Well, it must rank alongside the victory at the Newcastle Magic weekend when they put 45 points, wasn't it, against the whole black and white side. And here again, they've come to an undefeated Tigers side. They've been sensational at home. They've restricted them to 12 points, and then they've got to the other end of the field. They've had enough class enough strength and skill to score some points. And short kick-off, restart comes back, but again, even that bounces now in favour of the Saints.
Yes, Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook onto it, but referee has stopped the clock because he's seen a knock-on. This is not only Castleford's first home defeat of the season, but also their heaviest defeat of the season. They lost by a point at Salford, 13-12. They lost 22-26 at St Helens. They lost 24-26 at Hull, and also 24-32 at Hull in the Challenge Cup as well. Hitchcock's trying to get a little bit of consolation.
Eddie, I don't think they've been at their best, but I also don't think they've been awful as well.
No,
St Helens have just been phenomenal.
They could have beaten other sides tonight, definitely. Saints have been incredible in defence. What do we say, Phil?
You can never write off the Saints. You've taught me that over the last 20 years.
I thought we were going to go full match without you saying it.
Oh, you can't. You can't. 3 minutes to go, he had to come up with it. Here's Milner. Gale just flicks it on. Lost a little bit of direction. Hitchcock's.
St Helens have had lots of good performers, but one of the markers there, number 3, Ryan Morgan's been outstanding for them. You know what? You almost need as the right centre to be a better defender than attacker, and he has been tonight. He stopped Zach Hardacre many times in the first half, and he's been instrumental in restricting the opportunities that the Tigers have had, particularly when they've shifted it to Shenton and Hitchcock on this left-hand side.
McShane, Roberts, showed it to Lefeo, gives it to Gale, he gives it to Hardacre. Hardacre tries to go inside, Matty Smith, tackle not completed, so away it goes to Gale again, and on the bounce to Roberts. Roberts drops it off, and it's Sonny Lefeo again. Gale, wide they go, off the boot of Holmes, and all picked up by Luke Thompson.
Eddie, you mentioned fatigue, and maybe the fact that Saints have done so much defending. Castleford might fatigue late on in this match. You have to credit both teams, and the conditioning right up until what we're on now, 78.5 minutes. Still lots of energy, still players looking for work, looking for action. This has been a great game.
Yes, and you have to say, because of all that, it's been a fantastic St Helens performance. Thompson again, and he has worked tirelessly when he's been on the field, as they all have. Roby just drills the ball into touch.
Well, it's a very tough start for St Helens in the Super 8s. They played the 3 top sides, don't they? Castleford, Hull, then Leeds. But what a tremendous start to pick up 2 points in round 1. He'll be delighted. He now knows the next challenge is to be equally as good at home next week, hoping that his home support gets behind them now, and they ride this wave of enthusiasm, confidence and momentum that the supporters believe they have, may even take them all the way to Old Trafford.
If they get in the 4, you wouldn't write them off. If Wigan get in the 4, you wouldn't write them off. Leeds are probably in the 4 already with Castleford. So will one of the big guns traditionally of the Super League scene, will they be the spoilers as far as Castleford's grand final ambitions are concerned? It will all work itself out over the next couple of months before the big night, October the 7th. This is a significant win for St Helens this evening.
Big win for the confidence in themselves, in the coach, in the systems that they're defending and attacking in. Simply lovely.
Oh. Knock-ons all over the place. The siren has sounded, so that will do. And the St Helens crowd are delighted, as is the coach and captain, as is Alex Walmsley.